What would you say if I told you I had 5 important tips that if you followed them, you become infinitely better at fantasy football? Would you be interested? Good, because we're talking about them right now. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. We're talking about 5 things that are going to make you a better fantasy football player here in 2022, and you do not want to miss out on this list. Before we get into it, though, 2 quick things. You need a like goal, because you guys like free things. You like giveaways. So the like goal on this video going to be 1,892. If we can get that, I'm going to pick a random commenter down below to give a free draft guide to here in 2022 to make sure they're hooked up for their upcoming fantasy football drafts. But also, when it comes to giveaways, I need a little bit of help. Listen up for just a second. You can see the banner here at the bottom of the screen, Pristine Auction. If you have not signed up for a free account, it's free. There's a link down below in the description. It doesn't cost you anything. Just use the referral code HEADLINERS when you sign up for a free account on pristineauction.com. You're going to get a $10 off coupon. If you decide to make a purchase in the future, you have it there at your disposal. But also, when we send a lot of people to Pristine Auction, they have a tendency to send us a lot of great things in return to give away. The season's right around the corner, and we want some absolutely banger giveaways here. So make sure you sign up for that free account now. Like I said, link down below in the description. But let's go ahead and head into the list. Let me go ahead and transition my screen here, and let's pull it up. And let's just start off right here at the top. These are really in no specific order because you need to be doing all of them. So number 1, don't panic too early. I've done this on YouTube now for 6 years, and it never fails. Like clockwork, week 2 of the season comes around, and people start freaking out about underperforming studs from week 1. It's only 1 week. Is it ideal? No, absolutely not. Does it mean that you totally drafted incorrectly and your season is over after 1 week? No, it doesn't. Calm down. Too many people panic too early in the fantasy season, and they end up dealing assets all over the place. And the next thing you know, they pop off second half of the season, and your league mates are beating with your old players. You don't want that. Don't panic too early. Give yourself maybe 4 weeks or so. Every league is a little bit different. Depends how many weeks you play, your upcoming matchups, how bad you're losing, but give it at least 4 weeks before you actually start thinking about making a change. If you do it too early, you're setting yourself up for failure. Number 2, don't be quick to make trades. I understand that probably one of the most exciting things to do in fantasy football is draft. Second most exciting thing has to be making trades. I'm in several leagues that I have been over the last few years. People just send in trade off. Like, do you have nothing better to do? If you're out there trying to trade all your players, why did you draft them to begin with? You should be drafting players that you want and then kind of playing around some matchups in different times of the season and dealing people at the right time. But going out there week 2, week 3, and willy-nilly just sending trade offers is just a way for you to get screwed over by your league mates. They see that you want to just trade so bad that you're almost willing to accept less. Never accept less. You don't make trades unless it's an even swap or you're slightly ahead. Don't go out there and just give up value because you want to make a trade because it's exciting. You'll end up losing because of it. Number 3, do not blow your fab money. If you don't know what fab money is, that's where you kind of make a blind auction bid on a player each week, and then whoever bids the highest is the one that gets the player. Or you maybe play with waiver priority. Don't blow this too early. I see so many people all of the time using that number 1 waiver priority on a player they're just going to stash on their bench and they don't even need. What happens in a couple weeks when you may have an injury and you really need a player, but your waiver priority is pick 11 because you decided to pick up Joe Schmo in a week that you didn't need him? Don't waste your waiver priority. Don't waste your fab budget. One thing that I always like to do, because in every league, we all have that one guy that goes out there and spends way too much of the fab budget in the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Come second half of the year, they ain't got a whole lot, and maybe they have some needs. I like to include fab budget in my trades, because honestly, I'm not one of those guys that are making a crazy amount of transactions every single year. But if somebody needs the fab money, I can get a better player in return, give up something that I'm probably not going to use anyway. They're happy, I'm happy, but do not go out there so early and just blow your wad on a player you don't need. Focus more on the draft. Get the players you need. Kind of just play it slow a little bit, all right? Don't go out there and just use all of it in the first couple weeks. Things are going to happen middle of the season, end of season. You need some of that fab budget. You need the higher waiver priority at that time. Number 4, don't just set your lineups based off the projections on the site that you play. It happens everywhere, and I don't care what site you play on. Fantrax, Yahoo, ESPN, Sleeper, My Fantasy League, it does not matter. They're all going to give you a projected score for that player. Have you ever found projections that are 100% correct? No, and you're not going to. If you're only setting your lineup by trying to put in the highest projected points, you're probably going to miss out on some pretty good matchups. A lot of times, there's going to be high projection totals on your bench. You have to play matchups. You have to pay attention to the game. You have to watch the games on Sundays. You have to understand the game, understand the situation. Don't just blindly follow random projections that are always going to be wrong. Have you ever seen projections go up into the 30s, 40s, and 50s? No, but almost every week, there's one player that absolutely explodes that was projected for like 9.7 points. You don't want to miss out on those guys. Pay attention to the other key factors and not just projections. Lastly, trust your gut. A lot of people will come here for advice, asking questions, and we will do our best to give you the most logical reasoning behind whatever our opinion may be. We wish we could be 100%. We're not going to be 100%. Nobody is. If you have a gut feeling on a player, put him in your lineup. The last thing you want is to have that gut feeling, to ignore it and have that player go off. It's the quickest way for not only for you to get pissed off, but you start to lose interest in fantasy football because your mind starts telling you that you suck at this. You always put the wrong person in the lineup. You never should have listened to someone, whatever it may be. Trust your gut. It's your team. It's your championship. It's you that's clicking that mouse button that says submit when it comes to your lineup every single week. And trust me, it feels so much better when you really nail a call that maybe a lot of people weren't expecting. That's what makes fantasy football fun, is sometimes you just got to trust your gut if you really have one of those strong feelings. So as you can see, pretty simple things, right? Don't panic early. Don't be so quick to trade. Don't blow your fab budget or your high waiver priority too early. Don't send your lineups based solely off of projections on whatever platform you're on. And always, always trust your gut. These are not super difficult things to remember, but once you kind of have them in the back of your head, it's something that you think about, gives you a little bit of pause for the cause, and makes you an infinitely better fantasy football player. And that's what this is all about right here on this channel. If that's what you're looking for, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button as well if you enjoyed the content. If you struggle with any of these, leave that comment down below. I'll do my best to try to interact back and forth with you guys and help you out, because we're trying to bring home some championship trophies, rings, belts, whatever it is, that respect, whatever it may be. We're bringing it home this year on this channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. I'm going to get out of here for the day. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day and a great week, and we'll talk to you later.